Hello there, this is DBT, and these are the rooms. And alright, today it's a double celebration because, first of all, we made it! Oh yeah, baby! 10,000 subscribers, we have finally achieved these milestones, and oh boy, am I really happy that this happened. So, first of all, I want to thank everybody that has been watching these videos, enjoying the content, you know, leaving likes, comments, also writing the key phrases, that's very important. All of you guys have made this whole thing possible, and I'm really thankful that you guys have been enjoying this whole thing. It's a bit messy, but here we are. This is my style of content, and it seems that some of you like it, so I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, by the way, and you're watching this right now, why haven't you? Go ahead. I post literally daily, so there we go. Now, having reached 10,000 subscribers also means that I'm gonna be doing my 12-hour live stream this month. That's right, I made a promise that upon reaching 10,000 subscribers I was gonna do a 12-hour live stream, and that'll be coming later this month. When exactly, I'll let you know a little bit later down the road, but trust me, it's gonna happen. It's gonna be 12 hours of vroom vrooms, many racing games, including, of course, a lot of Asphalt 8, so stay tuned for that. But alright, what is the second celebration? Well, it has to do with DBT's time-limited event in Asphalt 8. That's right, DBT, the Vroom Vroom guy, got its own Beat the Time event, and today I'll show you how to reap all of the rewards. But first, how about we look at the rewards? So here in events, you will notice there's one Beat the Time cup, and oh boy, yes, the Ox suit, the one that I've been wearing for the past several videos, it's the main reward. But let's have a look at that. Now, we'll talk about the track and the car in a second, but first, over here you can see that this is my time, the time that you need to beat 1 minute with 0 seconds and 504 milliseconds. Now, if you own the Ox suit like I do, then the reward is 500,000 fusion coins, but if you don't own the suit, then that's what you would be getting over here. Now, it's worth mentioning that that suit, and when I say that, I mean this suit, has never been made available for free. So you could always, there were a couple opportunities for you to get it, but you need to pay some money in order to acquire it. So it was a premium type of suit. So this is going to be your first opportunity to get it for free, so long as you beat my time, which is not that hard, trust me. And by the way, this suit already has the male and female version if you're interested in that. So there you go. It's a cool suit, and man, I always have considered this to be the unofficial Lamborghini suit in the game. Anyway, let's continue looking at the rewards over here. Obviously, you can get a little bit of boosters, not super important, but over here is where I wanted this to be somewhat interesting. If you manage to stay within the 60% of players, you're gonna be able to unlock a custom livery for the Veneno. Now, this is a rare livery. Probably only the very OG players of this game have this livery, but it hasn't been available ever since I started playing like 3-4 years ago. So this is a very unique livery. Unfortunately, I cannot preview it for you, but trust me, it's a cool one. And on top of that, you can change the color of the car with the livery, so you can have it in different configurations. It looks very cool. So yes, rare livery for the Veneno, because why not? Now, further ahead, you can continue getting some additional parts and whatnot, but obviously, the thing that is going to call most of everybody's attention is going to be the direct upgrades, because in the 20% of players, you're going to be able to get 10 direct upgrades for Class A, meaning 40% of fully upgrade a car, and another 10 for Class S at the 10%. Generally speaking, obviously, 10 being for the 10% means that 90% of the player base will not get it. But again, that's just kind of how this type of events work, and honestly, it shouldn't be too difficult for you to do this. This entire thing is not going to be too difficult. And of course, I went with the Veneno because, in case you don't know, the Lamborghini Veneno is not only my favorite Lambo in this game, it's just my favorite Lambo, period. In fact, in the top right about now should be appearing a link on a video I made driving the Lamborghini Veneno in a bunch of different games, including Asphalt 8, because man, I just love this car very much, and Asphalt 8 was the game that made me fall in love with it. So go ahead, check that video, it's really fun. So yes. But alright, what about the track? I decided to go for Metal Garden because I see this as one very underrated track. A lot of people don't seem to like it, but it probably, well, whatever is the reason that some people don't like it, it's a very cool track. It's a little bit busy, it's a little bit hard, but it's not impossible. So, if you're curious how I got to this time, I'll actually show you the exact run which got me this lap time. And you'll have to forgive me if the video quality is a little bit dubious, just because, well, this is not a video that was meant to show per se, but anyway, this is the lap that was submitted so that, you know, this time could be set. You can see over here, 100504, that is my time, and here it is. Done in quick race with a triple boosted Lamborghini Veneno, and Listen, I know that there's a lot of people that are much more skilled than I am, but the whole point of this lap was not to prove myself as a great driver, none at all. The objective of this lap was to set a lap that is not impossible. Well, first of all, I'm not an alien, so it's not like I could create an impossible time, but I didn't want to make one that was difficult in general either. I wanted something that was doable, because at the end of the day, it's never been my intention to pretend that I'm a great player, and I know that a lot of people can defeat me, so my point is not like, oh my god, this is the moment for me to prove that I can beat a lot of you. No. The point here is to get a bunch of rewards, because yes, who doesn't want rewards, including that beautiful ox suit that, again, it's normally only for premium, and now you can get it for free. So this is the lap, and by the way, you will notice that this lap doesn't have any particularly fancy tricks at all. It's not a fancy lap where you do some weird respawning and none of that. It's a very straightforward lap, and the time achieved was that of 1 minute 0 seconds 504 milliseconds. So there you go. That is the lap itself, how I got it, and don't worry, I will actually show you how to get it, because there's a couple of tricks in this lap that, you know, for a lot of players that are very skilled, it's super easy to figure out what this is and how to do it. But maybe there's some players that are not super familiar with some of this situation, and particularly one, what would I call it? Method, skill, trick? I don't know. Let's talk about it. And for that, we're gonna actually try the TLE myself, because one thing is that lap that I submitted, now I will actually try it myself. So let me activate some boosters and try my luck over here and see if I still have what it takes to beat my time. Okay, boosters active, let's do this. Now there's always a possibility that I'm still not gonna be able to beat my own time, because sometimes it happens, skill issues, you know. But let's see what we can do over here. So I'm gonna try to do it focusing, and then we'll talk about what it is that I did. But again, it's not a particularly difficult lap to beat, trust me. So the very first thing is staying really close to that wall. Going for the jump. And here's the first part that can get a little bit tricky in this track. But if you pull it, then you're gonna be able to save quite a bunch of milliseconds in here. Next up, we got this ramp that I go for one single barrel roll. Over here, sometimes I try to aim in the middle to get two. Unfortunately, this time I only got one. Then notice that I'm doing a bunch of perfect nitro, because I want my nitro to last the longest. In fact, if you check the submitted lap, I use perfect nitro just about everywhere. Here's the second part that gets a little bit tricky because it uses punch drift. But if you notice in that lap that I submitted, it's perfect nitro all day, because at the end of the day, what matters in this track, at least the way that I see it, it's keeping your nitro going. Here's maybe the last tricky part, but it's not that tricky, just ensuring that you stay close to the wall. And I think I just beat my own time in my very first try, and it wasn't an amazing lap to begin with, but yep, there we go. What is that, like 100 and some milliseconds, a bit faster. So again, there's two parts in this track. And again, I should probably clarify that this that I'm going to explain, it's for people that have not managed to beat my time. I know that a lot of you guys are super skilled and beat my time by like 2 seconds. It's unbelievable. These people are ridiculously skilled, and GG's. I mean, that's perfectly fine. In fact, let me show you the leaderboard, because it's a little bit unbelievable. So I managed to hit 3%, lovely. And all right, let's have a look. Let's go to top 100, and look at that. They beat me by 2 seconds. 2 seconds. Granted, these are the absolute alienist of alien players, but still, you see that there's a lot of people that are so much more skilled than I am, but still, like I said, the whole point was to make this not ridiculously difficult, and with that, I have already gotten the main thing. So, let me do another run, and we're gonna talk about these two parts that I think are the tricky ones. Okay, so first, I'm gonna go with perfect nitro right at the start, because again, I want my nitro to last the longest. If you notice, I'm not going the closest to the wall as possible, but that's alright. You can do that, maybe not. This is the first part. You need to start your drift early, and this time I didn't manage it. You see that I had to drift twice in order to get this thing. Sometimes you can start the drift at the exact right time, and you're gonna be able to do that whole section drifting only once. It's a little bit of a long drift, but you stay close enough to the wall, it's gonna shave a bunch of milliseconds. From here onwards, it's just a matter of using perfect nitro. Again, trying to go for the possible best racing line. And over here at the entrance of this tricky section, go a little bit wide. Here, start the punch drift, and you're set. Perfect nitro again. Just go straight and try to focus on getting all of the nitro bottles. Now the nitro bottles are a little bit wide, so you can take them on the side, kind of like this. Well, I missed the last one, but it's fine. In this last section, just do a little drift and readjust to stay close to the wall. And what time am I gonna get? Actually, this time was somewhat worse. Alright, it happens. But alright, let me show you the video again so that you can see the parts that I'm really talking about. Because I know that some people aren't super aware of the punch drifts and we need to talk about them. And now we're back to the video. So, notice what it is that I'm doing at the very start. Again, start with perfect nitro, no problem. Activate it as soon as possible. Then, this is fine, this is no problem. Right around here is where it gets a little bit difficult. Now, I'm pausing right here. What you want to do is before you reach this line, before you cross it, you want to start drifting. And in this particular video, I didn't quite manage it. I start drifting, but notice that here I lost the drift and I have to re-enter drift to continue doing this. This is the part that I said that if you do it just right, like I did in my very first lap in this video itself, the one that you're watching at the moment, you're gonna be able to do that entire section in one single drift, and that's gonna save you some time. So that's the first part. Continuing, again, perfect nitro because I want my nitro to last the longest. I go for the ramp on the right side, kind of low to get only one spin. Move to the left for the next ramp, aiming to get 2 spins. Sometimes you can get 1, 2, it depends. Again, I go for the perfect nitros. Perfect nitro right there. Now notice over here, well, it's difficult to see because of the quality of the video, but basically over here you have a straight line. So long as you get close enough to this wall, you can go basically on a straight line, picking up the nitro and reaching the next corner. So check this out. There we go, almost straight, and there we go. No need to drift at all. Now this is the section that gets a little bit difficult with the weird turn. Notice how I tried to enter it a little bit close to the wall, but actually aiming to go wide. Notice that I'm not staying super close to this wall. Instead, I'm getting closer to this wall because what I want to have, it's a bunch of space to do the drift. I do the drift before I reach this end of the section on the right side. Over here, the drift, I do punch drift. Right then, I did the punch drift, and that gives me enough to continue. Now, it would have been better if I didn't hit that wall, but it didn't affect too much, and as you can see, I'm still going for perfect nitro. Perfect nitro, and then from here onwards, nothing to do other than just go straight, pick all of the nitro bottles that you can. Like I said, if you can pick all 3 of them, you'll be fine. There we go, all 3 picked. Over here, do a tiny little drift to stay closer to the wall, and just keep on steering as you do another perfect nitro. Excuse me. And there you go. That's how I beat the time. So let me try one more time and see if I can do the drift as I want. So like I said, this is not a super difficult track. Excuse me, not a super difficult lap. It's alright. Perfect nitro to start. Activating it as soon as possible. Stay close to the wall. No need to do flat spins or anything. So here we go. I'm gonna try to start drift now. And there we go. That's what I was talking about. Close to the wall. Perfect nitro and continue going. Same situation, go for the ramp on the right side. Kind of low to get 1 spin. Over here, if you can get 2, that would be perfect. There we go, 2. Triple tap, then perfect nitro over here. Goes basically straight, close to the wall without touching them. Now get close to the wall, but kind of wide. Oh no, oh, I didn't mean to drift there. Oh, I messed up. Oh well, imagine I did that part right. My punch drift failed me. It's fine. But yeah, it's not impossible. And in fact, I think it's all you need to do is practice a little bit. And given how much people dislike this track or how much they avoid it, I think it would be a good thing for everybody to learn to do this track a little bit better. And that's not me saying that I know how to do it perfectly, all right? I'm well aware of that. What I'm saying is that it's a good opportunity to practice it a little bit, in particular those 2 sections. Now, like I mentioned, punch drift is the key in that tricky turn that I fell in this particular lap. Now, what I'm going to talk next is how to do a punch drift. So if you know how to do it, you probably are not interested in this. But if you don't know what a punch drift is, then stay tuned because I'll show you. And I'm going to show you in one of the best places to do it, which is Tokyo, because there's a very, very open area where it's very easy to show what this is about. So like I said, this is not going to be super useful for anybody that knows how to do it, but I understand that there's some people that watch my channel that maybe don't have enough experience, and it's easy to take for granted things that we know how to do, but maybe, you know, I know that there's videos already explaining how to do punch drift, but I thought I will show you my version of it. punch drift, what it is basically using nitro in order, really quickly, while you're doing a drift, in order to get a sharper sharper drift. So this is the section that I wanted to use because it's just very open. So let me just gain some speed and start drifting. So this is the drift radius of the Veneno as it is right now, right? This is basically it. But see what happens when I do a punch drift. You see how suddenly it does it super sharp, much more sudden. You can see that the circle that I was following is suddenly different because I got placed into a different, well, you know, drift circle, I suppose. You know what? I'm doing drifts in Tokyo. Does that mean this is Tokyo Drift? Anyway, so what is happening over here? Let's start again. Drift. And you can see on the right side my nitro button. When I use it, it lights up as orange, right? At the right, at the top. So when I press brake, it shows on the left bottom corner. You see when I press brake. Punch nitro, what it is, I'm drifting nitro drift. That's what I did. Press nitro and instantly drift. In fact, if you look at my nitro information at the top, you'll see how it shows the nitro and disappears instantly. That means I started using nitro and started drifting again. So what that does, like I said, it's a very sharp drift. And I'm gonna show you over here. If I try to do a drift, I can pull it off, yes, but I can pull it off even sharper, like this. That is what is known as punch drift. So it is a bit of a technique that helps a ton just about any car that doesn't necessarily have the best drift, or in general, if you just want to do a drift that it's pretty sharp. This is how you do it even with cars that tend to drift pretty bad. Again, all you gotta do is be drifting, then use nitro and instantly drift again. Nitro drift, nitro drift, nitro drift. That's how you do punch drift. Now you gotta be careful when you're doing that, because sometimes your drift might end up being too sharp. Excuse me, I'm still sick, so sorry for the coughing. You might end up doing the drift a bit too sharp and crash on the inside of a turn. But again, it's a matter of getting used to it. You need to practice it a little bit. But over here, for example, let's say punch drift. And see how suddenly it became super sharp? So let's do another one over here as I was showing you. Let's say that I want to do a 180 turn. Then I go here, drift, nitro drift. And there we go. There's a punch drift. So you want to be using that in that tricky section in Terra 9. That is what is going to be able to allow you to stay within the inner side of the turn. So there you have it. That is how you do a little bit of punch drift. I hope that my explanation was somewhat understandable. Again, I may not be the best at doing tutorials and whatnot, but I do believe that punch drift is something that is extremely useful. And in case you don't know how to do it, well, I hope that helped a little bit. So let me see if I can do this. Oh, I missed, but it's alright. Perfect nitro. I just want to see if I can beat my current best time, but either way. So yes, again, I'm super thankful for everybody that has been watching this channel and, you know, allowed me to get to the 10,000 subscribers. I'm really thankful that I somehow managed to get into the content creator program for Asphalt 8, and now I even have my own TLE. Oh man, it's so exciting. Here we go. Here's the punch drift section. Drift, punch drift, and there we go. That's how you do it. So yeah, it is unbelievable to me that we have gotten all the way to here, and well, we can only hope that the channel continues growing. As usual, I'm gonna continue trying to advocate for all of you guys, the players of this game, because you know it's always good to try to give the community a bunch of rewards, even if that means that it's gonna allow a lot of people to beat my time. But you know what? That's perfectly fine. I'd rather you guys get a bunch of rewards than just to me be like, oh, nobody can beat my time. Come on, I'm a mid player. Who cares? But alright, that's gonna do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, you know what to do. Hit the like button, subscribe, because, well, we already reached 10,000, but what's some more subscribers, huh? Come on, maybe we can reach 15,000 at some point. Also, again, check the video that I did on the Veneno, explaining what is my favorite car and why I chose it, in this case, for this particular race. But that's all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care and stay safe. Good luck. Bye-bye.